Hi, my name is Julian and I help men to become great lovers. Today I want to share the 5 most effective relaxation techniques so that you can stay cool when things get heated. So here's the quick take. What is performance anxiety related to sex? So performance anxiety is when you experience stress, anxiety, or even fear related to sexual experiences or activities. And you have these feelings, the first thing I want you to know is that it's okay. Like, you are not alone with this. In fact, 1 in 4 men are struggling with this according to studies. And the thing is, performance anxiety is very tricky to get out of because it contributes to the most common sexual challenges that men face, like premature ejaculation or erectile dysfunction. And then we have this self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like, once we failed during sex, this kind of fuels our performance anxiety. And bam, we have more performance anxiety to deal with. And so the next time we get intimate, it's very likely that things are going in a way that we also perceive as a failure. And this then continues, and breaking this devil's cycle can be extremely difficult. Based on my experience, my personal experience, and working with my clients, I found that calming your mind is down and staying relaxed and trying to control the anxiety and stress is one way forward. Strategies that I'm presenting right now are based on cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness training, and neuroscience, and I hope that you find them useful. Number 1, performance visualization. And this technique refers to imagining the moment that you don't want to screw up in your mind before you actually do it. And this is something that also elite athletes do before a competition. So one famous example is Michael Phelps, who is the most successful Olympic athlete of all time. This technique is also backed by science because researchers found that musical students perform much better if they do a mental rehearsal before a performance. Okay. I don't want to further emphasize the idea that sex is a performance. However, in this case, you're watching this video because for you, sex feels like a performance. And in this case, performance visualization is a very effective method to calm your nerves and prepare you for your next sexual experience. Let's have a look at how it actually works. In general, you want to visualize how you have sex in a perfect world. Like, basically imagine how sex would be like if you didn't have any troubles. You were confident, no dysfunctions or challenges, everything works. And then you want to be as detailed as possible. Like, how are you personally feeling? How is your partner reacting? If you are looking for an example on how this could look like, you can go to the info box because I've tagged my article that I wrote about this, and there I have included an example. It's a little bit too detailed and graphic for YouTube, so I cannot share it here, but you can read about it if you need some more practical input. When is the most effective time to do performance visualization? You either do it before you go to sleep, you can do this regularly, or you do it more or less immediately before you are doing or engaging in any sexual activities. 2, guided meditation. So, meditation in general has been proven to reduce stress and anxiety. And meditation seems to be particularly relevant when it comes to managing performance anxiety. There is a set of researchers that found, while conducting a study with musical students, that meditation seems to be effective at reducing their performance anxiety. Professional musicians are struggling a lot with performance anxiety because they get stage fright, because the stakes are so high. So how do you use meditation? Meditation is a tool that typically requires loads of training. Luckily, guided meditations are great at making the benefits of meditation accessible to beginners. I've linked a particularly useful and good 10-minute guided meditation in the info box below. And when should you use meditation? So meditation is most effective if you have a consistent practice. That means that you do it regularly, ideally daily. So I recommend you carve out a slot in your schedule and basically invest 10 minutes every day. And this way you make yourself more resilient towards or against stress and anxiety. 3. Diaphragmatic breathing. So this breathing technique is also called deep breathing or belly breathing. And the key is to consciously control your breathing through your diaphragm. Diaphragm is basically a big muscle that sits straight under your lung. And when you inhale, it contracts, and when you are exhaling, it relaxes. And that's also why your body is expanding and subtracting as you're breathing. So this way of breathing reduces the level of stress and anxiety significantly because it triggers your body's relaxation response. Okay? There are many different variants of deep breathing. The one that I'm going to share should be particularly effective at controlling your anxiety or stress because the inhalation is shorter than the exhalation. And typically all breathing patterns that are like this contribute to the relaxation of the body. This was basically conveyed by Professor Huberman, who is a professor of neuroscience at Stanford University. So this seems to be quite a legit source. How do you do diaphragmatic breathing correctly? So first you want to practice laying down, because it's much easier to get it right while laying down. I'm going to demonstrate it right now, but there's also going to be a more detailed explanation in the info box below. So please, if you're unsure or my explanation wasn't the greatest, just check out the link in the info box and I'm sure you're gonna get it. I'm gonna demonstrate it now sitting upright. We're gonna start with a 4-second inhalation through the nose. We hold for 5 seconds and then we're gonna exhale for 6 seconds. Alright, and we exhale through the mouth as if we are blowing air through a straw, so like this. Okay. In the beginning, to make sure that you're getting it right, it makes sense to place your hand on your chest and on your belly. And you want that your hand on your belly basically lifts up first and way more significantly than on your chest. Like, it's okay if your hand on your chest lifts up slightly, really at the end of the breath, but it should not move in the beginning. Let me demonstrate. And then you can basically repeat this breathing pattern for 1 to 3 minutes in an emergent situation. So when you are just about to have sex, for instance in the bathroom, sitting on a toilet seat, you do this, you step out and you're already way more relaxed and calm. If you want to do this for daily practice, which is also great at reducing your overall stress level, then you want to do it for about 5 minutes. 4. Progressive muscle relaxation, or short PMR. And PMR is another tool that is very effective at reducing anxiety and stress. A study found that PMR, compared to meditation, is slightly better at decreasing somatic stress levels. And so this is the physical manifestation of stress. And so you can think of like sweaty palms, a racing heart, accelerated breath, shakiness, maybe like a tingling sensation somewhere in your body. So if you are having these more body-centric symptoms, then it makes sense to do more PMR than meditation to manage your stress and anxiety. How do we do progressive muscle relaxation? So it typically works like this. We are subsequently contracting and then relaxing parts of our body. And we are basically going through the entire body, step by step. There are many variations on how to do it. Typically you need some sort of therapist or a coach or guide that talks you through it. But I have found a really nice and effective audio that basically guides you through it. It's linked in the info box below, so check it out. When do we use a PMR? So PMR is it takes some time, it's 10-15 minutes, the script, until you're fully relaxed, the effects take in. So this is something that you want to do regularly. You cannot really do it ad hoc in a emergent situation of discomfort or stress. I mean, if you're experiencing discomfort or stress, throughout your day and there's no one around, then of course you can carve out 10-15 minutes and do it, and that would work. But it's not so practical when you're about to have sex with someone. 5. The physiological sigh. And this is something that is super fast and very effective. This breathing pattern is so effective because it works with our body's physiology directly. And so the following alleviation of our body's stress response is imminent, and it's very easy to do because it's automatic. Okay, so there's nothing else that we need to consider besides doing the technique right. The whole method only takes a maximum of 30 seconds, and it helps us to stay in control when we are dealing with acute anxiety or stress. Dr. Huberman said that it is the, and I quote, fastest hardwired way for us to eliminate the stressful response in our body in real time.
The physiological sigh was discovered in the 30s. It's now been explored at the neurobiological level and mechanistically in far more detail by Jack Feldman's lab at UCLA, also Mark Krasno's lab at Stanford. And the physiological sigh is something that humans and animals do anytime they are about to fall asleep.
How do we do it? We inhale strongly twice through our nose, and then we exhale long through our mouth. And we repeat this 1 to 3 times, and then we're done already. And the reason why this is so effective is because the 2 inhalations, they fully inflate our lungs, and therefore our body becomes much better at basically reducing CO2 levels. Okay, and then I said before that short inhalation and long exhalation is very good at triggering the relaxation response of our body. So these are the 2 main contributors why this is so effective. And now let me demonstrate how it works. So we do the 2 inhalations through the nose, 1 long exhalation through the mouth. And we repeat it 1 to 3 times and we are done. At this point, I really want to showcase the podcast of Dr. Huberman. It's called Huberman Lab, and he has a specific episode on managing stress and anxiety, and I'm going to link it in the info box, and I highly recommend it. When is the best time to use the physiological sigh? So the physiological sigh is very effective at managing stress that comes up acutely. Okay, so that's just there, and then we need to manage it. And so this could be a situation where you're just about to have sex, for instance, or where you are like having like thought patterns where you're thinking about something that went wrong in the past. And then you can just use the physiological side to kind of get you leveled again. Now you are equipped with the 5 most effective relaxation techniques to stay calm when you're facing performance anxiety. You got the tools. Use them. In my opinion, the psychological side of sexual dysfunctions is way underrepresented, especially among men, right? To beat this stuff, we have to look at our existence holistically. And by watching this video and taking my advice to heart, you have greatly increased your odds to stand on the side of sexual freedom.